Hi, my name is Jennifer, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to add and subtract fractions. So grab a pencil and some paper and work through these examples with me. Let's take a look at our first example. We have the fraction 3/5 plus 1/2. Now before we can add these two together, it's important, it's necessary to have common denominators. What that means is that the two numbers on the bottom in the denominator, they have to be the same. So here's what we need to do. We need to rewrite this problem. So I'm going to write the fraction bar plus the fraction bar. And we need to come up with one number that we can divide 5 divides into evenly and 2 divides into evenly. Sometimes, depending on the two numbers, this could be really easy or it could be really difficult. But if you're ever stumped on how to find a common denominator, you can always multiply the two denominators together, which that's what we'll do for this example. 5 times 2 is 10. So our common denominator is 10. Next, because we changed the denominator, we have to make that same change to the numerators. So this is what we need to do. We need to go back up here to our 5, and we need to think, what multiplication problem did we work to get 10? We multiplied 2 times 5 to get 10. So we'll also multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. Then we'll ask ourselves the same question for the other fraction. 2 times what number gave us 10? So it's 2 times 5. So we also need to do that multiplication problem to the numerator. 1 times 5 is 5. Now that we have common denominators, we both have a 10 on the bottom, we just need to add the numerators. So we have 6 over 10 plus 5 over 10 is 11 over 10. You can keep your answer as an improper fraction unless your instructions ask you to simplify it further. If you needed to simplify this into a mixed number, we would do the division problem. 11 divided by 10 goes in there one time, so we'll write a big whole number of a 1 with 1/10 remaining. So either answer, 11 over 10 or 1 1/10, is the correct answer. Okay, let's try that same process again, except this time we're going to subtract two fractions. We have 3/4 minus 2/5. Before we can subtract these two problems, we need to find common denominators. So let's rewrite the problem, fraction bar minus fraction bar, and we need to come up with that common denominator, or one number that 4 goes into evenly and 5 goes into evenly. And sometimes it's easiest, if you can't think of the common denominator, it's easiest just to multiply the two current denominators together. That's what we'll do for this problem again. 4 times 5 is 20. So 20 will be our common denominator. Now that we've changed the denominator, it's important that that change is also reflected in our numerators. So we need to first figure out how the old denominator changed to the new denominator. We had a 4, we changed it to a 20 because we multiplied it by 5. So we also need to multiply the numerator by 5. 5 times 3 is 15. For our second fraction, we had a denominator of 5. We multiplied it by a 4 to get 20. So we need to multiply the numerator 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Now that the same number is in the denominator, we can subtract the numerators. 15 twentieths minus 8 twentieths is 7 twentieths. We cannot simplify the 7 with the 20, so our final answer is 7 twentieths. All right, let's try one more problem together. We have 3 1/2 plus 5 2/3. So every once in a while, you're going to be asked to subtract or add mixed fractions. A mixed fraction is when we have a whole number and a fraction that makes up one of the numbers. I'm going to suggest that we turn both of these mixed numbers into improper fractions, and then we'll solve the problem. To change 3 1/2 into an improper fraction, we're going to first multiply the 2 times 3, which is 6, and then we're going to add 1. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So another way of writing 3 1/2 is 7 over 2. We'll do the same thing with 5 2/3. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17 over 3. Okay, now that we've changed to improper fractions, now we need to find common denominators. Draw fraction bar plus fraction bar. Our current denominators are 2 and 3. We'll multiply those two together to get 6. Next, now that we've changed the denominators, it's important that we make the same change to the numerators. We did 2 times 3 to get 6, and so we'll do 7 times 3 to get 21. Okay, next, we had 17 thirds, and so we multiplied 3 times 2 to get 6. Now we'll multiply 17 times 2 to get 34. Now that we have the common denominators and we've made the adjustments to the numerator, we're ready to add straight across. 21/6 plus 34/6 is 55/6. Now, according to your directions, you can either leave your answer as an improper fraction or you can convert it back to a mixed number. To convert it back to a mixed number, we would work this division problem. 55 divided by 6 goes in there 9 times. So write 9 whole number. 9 times 6 is 54, so we'll have 1 left over, and we'll put our remainder back over 6, which is our divisor. So our answer to this problem is 55/6, or the mixed number 9 1/6. If you have any other questions about this topic, please contact your professor, or stop by the Math Tutoring Lab, or watch this video again.